Hello,
Hello,
we're back.
I'm Volt.
I'm not back. I'm Kiki.
And this is the Volt or Kiki and Volt show. KVS.
Exactly. KVS. Damn.
Don't judge us for our lack of originality.
I actually said we should have a motto that we say when the show starts. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, well, could start it out because it's the Kiki and Volt show, right? Like, I'm Kiki, I'm Volt. This is the Kiki and Volt show. But that again, it's like the issue of originality.
Whoa. So original.
Nobody in the history of content creation has ever done anything like that.
I know, naming themselves off and then saying it's the show and then screaming. Definitely not.
It's like, it's up there with hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell.
Hey, you're the one that said it. I didn't.
I mean, it's a staple, right?
I guess. We gotta fish them out, right? Gotta be like, alright, give me those subscribers, give me those likes.
Well, anytime I hear that sort of set of phrases being spoken by someone on YouTube or whatever, the first thing I think of is the Demolition D video where it was like Hanukkah Search for Dominance, which was a funny video, but at the very end, he's like, thanks for watching the video and make sure to drop a sick beat. And then it plays like this music and then it like subtitles that say, don't hit the like button if the streamer tells you to hit the like button because that defeats the entire purpose of it. And that's how he ended the video. And I liked it because I was like, oh yeah, you're telling me not to hit the like button? I'm hitting the like button.
It's that good old reverse psychology, right?
It works.
It did work.
Don't hit
It worked
that
on
like
you.
button.
I only hit like buttons on music because it just keeps track of it really easily.
I
And then,
only
just regurgitates more music.
I only hit the like button. Well, yeah, I guess a similar thing. I only hit the like button when I'm trying to teach the algorithm. I'm like, hey, YouTube, give me more of this. I'm gonna hit the like button. Make sure that you record this. You give me more. It's like training a dog.
Yeah, and it's typically like, all right, here you go. Until you watch some weird video and it's like, oh, you have got into this one specific niche. All right, here's 50 billion things that you could watch on that niche.
It's like Kiwami Japan. Like people who haven't seen him before, they'll like watch one video of him making a knife.
Yeah, exactly.
And then suddenly their entire recommended list is just a whole bunch of weird knives that he's made.
Well, it's like that for me for this like Japanese cooking channel where this dude is like camping and everything is just him cooking.
Oh yeah, you showed me a
while
video
camping.
of it.
Yeah, it's really good, especially like the meat. Yeah, meat.
Hell yeah. So as far as I guess we kind of just went off on a tangent before we even had a topic, but that's okay.
That's okay. No, that was the topic.
Yeah, that was totally the topic.
Like button. And
it was
how you should
100%.
hit it. Oh no! Oh no! I said it too.
You smash that like. But yeah, so over the weekend on Saturday we had watched again here in VR chat a movie called Saint Young Men, aka Sainto Onisen. And the premise
really called that.
Yeah. I looked it up before I made sure that's the name of it. I think of it as the Jesus and Buddha anime movie because that's exactly what it is. That's the premise. Jesus and Buddha are on vacation in Japan, and it's just a slice of life of them being roommates and just
Yeah.
chilling. in Japan.
And it's like even they have to deal with daily troubles.
Like little kids trying to poke Buddha in the head because he has the little dot thing.
I mean, wouldn't you want to point at it or poke it? It's like a giant target.
I would think of it as a little kid, but I wasn't the type of little kid that would actually go and do that to a grown adult. Like shooting, they like made rubber band guns and were like trying to aim and shoot him in the forehead with them.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
sucked. They kept missing. They hit everything else but the forehead.
I feel like there was a little bit of
use their finger.
there was a little bit of divine intervention going on there. Like
Like
it
the
was, they
entire
were
movie.
very it's like me in any kind of multiplayer competitive game. I'm just very unlucky. No? It's the same thing. They were just very unlucky.
Divine intervention, or are you just really bad?
No, definitely divine intervention. Don't you know
I
you're
wonder
never
about
if you're,
that.
you're playing a multiplayer competitive game, you're never the problem. It's never you.
Oh, okay.
It's always your teammates. It's always RNG. It's the game developer balanced the game poorly.
It's all
Your
divine
internet connection was laggy.
It's all
anything other than yourself. It's the rule. Don't worry
All
the
right,
fact
sure.
that you're the constant in all those games.
exactly.
Don't worry
It's
about
never
that.
your fault. But yeah, it was just them dealing with daily troubles. They were really poor too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were kind of living off of stingy
Donations.
offerings, you know. Current
like-
year, like a little difficult to get those religion dollars in, you know. I can understand.
Fair. It's pretty hard. There's a lot of people living off donations, right?
That's like the Twitch model, right?
Exactly.
Let's be real, nobody's making money from ads.
Ugh.
Subs. Would you call subs a donation? Like technically?
I don't know. Like
You're getting emotes.
What would you call a sub? Yeah, most of the time you're getting emotes, and if the emotes are really, really good, it's worth it.
Might be value, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I feel like even if you don't have people that come in for your channel for you, which kind of just sucks because they don't really care about you. But if your emotes are good, that's
still get those sub dollars.
Yeah. Also,
You know, it's
subbing
worth it.
supports Twitch if you care for that. You know, I don't really have
Yeah, I don't know
say
about that
in
one.
like streaming platforms.
Like I know streamers who actually made their own third-party website for subscriptions, specifically for the purpose of getting the full cut instead of the
half
50%.
cut. Yeah, straight up.
And then most of their viewer base would also want to go to that site because, again, for the same reason, you're giving the full amount to the streamer. Because really, it's like, yeah, Twitch is a platform that are spending money to support all this content and allow it to be out there in the open. But at the same time, if you're spending $5, you're spending $5 for the person, not the platform, typically.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to have the money.
I wonder. Yeah, and that's where donations come in, right?
Mhm.
What else
I
happened
don't
in
know,
the movie?
Not a whole lot. I mean, it's slice of life, right?
Yeah,
So it's like
it's a whole lot of nothing.
it's more about being
comfiness.
comfy. Yeah. It's just a nice, like, oh yeah, and even though, like, I swear to God, they were really baiting, like, it felt very much like a yaoi bait scenario, but they only lampshaded it once. Just once. So I feel like that was a lot. That was
And
a
they
lot
did
of
it
self
really hard. That was the only time, really.
It's like Christmas. Okay, Christmas is like a romantic holiday in Japan, right? They're out there on Christmas. One of the, like, Buddha's trying to get a gift for Jesus. And
on his birthday that he doesn't even realize it was.
yeah, he doesn't realize, like, Jesus doesn't realize it's his birthday. Jesus is just super excited about Christmas and like Santa Claus and like the decorations and stuff. Completely, like, he's like one of those, was it Dojiko? It's almost like a clumsy character.
Yeah, that
just acts cute,
the
but just doesn't really.
He's just.
I think it's
that's
Dojiko.
his character. He's very clumsy,
like,
and
very kind of flaky, airheaded, and then Buddha's the stingy one who's more serious. He's the one who's got like his hands on the purse strings and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't spend money on this. We need to hit that deal for the daikon
at the
daikon radish
at the supermarket, and they got it. They got it.
It's on sale for $9.99. and then he died because he walked after buying the daikon radish for 99 cents, which he made such a huge deal over. They walk by another vegetable stall, and he just like dies.
It wasn't even walking by.
It was on sale
right across it.
Yeah, right across the street.
Right across
79 cents. Or I should say 79 yen.
Close enough.
To US dollars, maybe.
I can't remember
Canadian, the
last
monopoly
time I
money
looked at the
exchange rate.
conversion. It's probably, I don't know. I can look it up later. It's pretty close to 1-to-1, or it's.
I've always thought of a yen as a cent just because it's easy, you know. Someone's like, "Oh, this figurine is like 10,000 yen." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm not buying that."
Do you even have figurines?
I have a few. They were bought like quite a while ago when I cared enough to spend a lot of money on PVC.
For anime girls? Yeah, same. Mine are like in the closet over there somewhere. And they're just in boxes.
I have one on my desk and then one up on a shelf somewhere over there.
I have the one over there that you saw, the Monster Hunter one.
That's good, yeah.
That's probably like the only fig I've bought in like 3 years, 4 years. It's been a long time. I have no place to put it, so it's like, why should I buy this?
I'm hard pressed to spend money on decoration. That's all they really are. They're just decorations. They're expensive ornaments, you know? And it's like, I can't do it.
It's a Christmas ornament you could have 100% of the year up.
Every day is
your Christmas tree is, your desktop. So you could always look at it.
Accurate. Yeah. Definitely. That makes sense.
It's always Christmas, is what I was saying with a figurine. You're always happy. See, I got it. I found out why they made anime figurines. It's always Christmas.
Every day is Christmas. So, have you been playing any fun games recently?
Fun games?
Fun game.
I played Mass Builder. That's what I played. Have you looked at it at all?
Yeah. I mean, I looked at the Steam page, kind of looked at like some of the thumbnails and the videos. whatever that were on the Steam page.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't like actually loaded up the game or anything, but
It's pretty neat. So how the game works is it's, like a typical mech game where you customize your mech, you put different parts. It's all aesthetic though, so you could have some pretty wacky stuff, but there's not that many things to change so far. It could look pretty chunky, but for the most part, it's just like basic humanoid mech model with like a jet booster thing. That some of them look like wings, some of them look like just like the standard booster. The real customization is the tuning system, and that's where you could actually like change the numbers or modify the numbers where it's like, oh, I want more boost speed, oh, I want more fast reload, more power, more defense, stuff like that. The stuff that you actually care about when you play a mech game like this, similar to like Armored Core. The thing that actually,
I was just gonna say the first sort of layer of customization is basically aesthetics, and then the other one, the tuning, is your actual stat.
Yeah. So it's pretty nice. I like it. I hope you can go further. My problem with only purely aesthetic is you can't have like some really like unique builds unless the hitboxes are actually different. Because for Armored Core, they had different leg types. That's what made you different from each other mechs. Like you had like spider legs, or I think it was quad legs. You could have entire tank bottoms. You could just be a tank and drive around.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
neat.
just
And they'd
terrible
all have
boost,
different.
but you could just you have like recoil.
Like the stats would be different between the different legs. Like I can imagine like spider legs would just move in different ways or whatever than like tank treads.
Yeah.
It's like turning and acceleration and all these different things would just be different.
Mm-hmm. It's just all very different, and it's pretty much a different experience depending on what legs you had. I remember I had a friend when we played Armored Core 4 a long time ago. I think it was 4. He made the most lightest mech ever, and he wanted it to just fly forever. And we did a 1v1 match, and he was like, oh wow, it actually works! And he actually flew out of bounds because...
Did he lose?
Yeah, he lost. He lost against me just because he flew so fast and out of bounds. The barrier for hitting out of bounds and losing, and the warning for out of bounds is probably like a few inches. So before you even get to react terrible. And like turn off your engine, you lose. It's just like, oh, you're out. Get out. Lose.
What's the point of having a warning?
I don't think any
warning,
the developers
you're already
ever
out
thought
of
that
bounds.
someone would just like fly forever or hit the vertical limit.
Yeah, it was probably not designed in such a way that like they really thought people would be doing this. Like, yeah, that happens a lot. That's usually where a lot of exploits and stuff for games come from. When people are just doing things that the developers never thought anyone would have. Like they couldn't even imagine people doing.
Yeah.
And then they end up hitting some overflow buffer or something, and then, oh look, I duplicated items, or I did this, or I did that. I teleported to this other place.
Yeah, this is how the speedrun tricks are found, right?
Yes. Like the Legend of the Ocarina of Time first boss glitch that lets you immediately
Skip
go to the Ganon. Yeah, the Ganon fight at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's like I would try to explain it, but I wouldn't be able to do it justice. It's basically like a memory address exploit of some kind, where you're messing with the door's pointer, where the door normally would be pointing obviously to the exit for the I can't remember the spider boss's name, but the very first spider boss in the Deku tree. Obviously, that door would point out to the exit, but doing some sort of weird trick, you can get that pointer to actually point to Ganon's castle at the end of the game. So you have this like 4-minute speed run of Ocarina of Time. I like that stuff. Like I wouldn't want to try to do it, but I like watching it.
I tried to do some of the Mario Kart 64 tricks just on a whim because
I used to know how to do a bunch of those.
Place. Yeah, I messed them all up.
Like the Rainbow Road, where so in Mario Kart 64, right at the very beginning of Rainbow Road, you could veer off to the side, jump, and you would fly across, and then hit the
other side of the track
halfway. So you're halfway through the lap. Right at the beginning. My sisters would get so mad when I would do it because it was like, it's cheating. And then half the time I would fail it. So
yeah, then it's like, well, now you're in last place. And
it all makes
good luck catching
up in the end. I think there was I can't remember the track name, but it looked like a dirt rally. I think it was like a Wario
Stadium.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And you could like jump up onto the wall and then the Lakido or whatever would come down and he would drop you off on the other side, yeah. There are some nutty ones on Chocolate Mountain too.
I don't remember Chocolate Mountain. Oh, you mean the one where it's like you literally go across the
it was like a 23-second where right at the very beginning you basically pick up speed and you hit at a very particular angle at a very particular frame, and then you like bounce up in a specific way that puts you in a different loading zone, which gets the Lakido to put you before the finish line, so then you can immediately get a new lap. So you get these incredibly fast
over and over, right? And then
but
it took
basically like 5 or 6 years for speedrunners to actually get a run where they actually did it consistently 3 times or something, because it was just so difficult.
Yeah, it's one of those specific. This is highly task bot only. Unless
it was
some sort of monster god.
And then someone actually did it. I love that when it's like, oh yeah, humans will never complete this weird glitch trick thing that we found with a task. Which I don't know. Anyone who doesn't know, that's tool assisted speedrun. Yeah. So it's like a program that lets you go through the game frame by frame with save states. So you could put in perfect inputs for anything that you want to do. But obviously that takes a long time to get through, but you end up with these speed runs at the end that are like perfect, and they do all these kind of crazy, weird, glitchy things that a human wouldn't be able to do because you can't go frame by frame.
That's easy. We'll just become robots.
Yeah, just like crank the hertz on our brains. Got overclock.
Yeah. Well, we're only using what? Is it 10-15% of our brain potential?
I'm pretty sure that's a meme. I'm pretty sure that's
that's the meme, right?
I feel like I've watched several videos and read several articles that were like, this is bullshit and not actually true.
Anyways, back to Mass Builder. Dang, that was quite the tangent.
It was a good tangent.
So yeah, the combat is very fast paced. You could also customize your weapons. They all act differently too, which is pretty neat. Like for the basic gun is at the moment they have single shot and auto. One has an AoE. You have missiles. You even have these little robots that go around and shoot the baddies.
Like drones?
Yeah, drones. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
My problem with the game so far is the maps are really small. It feels like you're constricted, and a mech game is typically kind of open.
Yeah.
And you like freely boost around everywhere. But with how the maps are currently, they're pretty small. Though I can't say shit because it's only the first level. That's all. That's the only thing available. Could be way different
Yeah,
next
because it's
month.
like is it alpha or is it like literally a demo?
It's just a demo. Early
Yeah,
access starts next month.
Mm.
So I hope it's like the standard really big maps and lots of enemies. The nice thing too is eventually it's gonna be multiplayer. So I can't wait for that. Up to 4 players. And then there's obviously
pretty cool.
versus. Yeah, we need to play that.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, I would actually have to buy it then. Because you can't account share the same game.
Yeah, exactly. What about you? What have you been playing?
I've been playing, well, I mean, a few things, but most of it I didn't care about. Like, I play the odd TFT game now and then, things like that. But for the most part, Ogre Battle 64. I'm putting on those boomer goggles. Really going with the nostalgia. Because it's easily, I would say pretty easily that it's my favorite JRPG tactics game. Well,
there's not really a game like it
difficult.
anymore. I guess
Final Fantasy
Rome.
Tactics and Ogre Battle 64 are really close together there.
Mm-hmm.
That type of that style of gameplay.
What is like equal to that in modern terms? Besides actually playing tabletop.
I don't know, Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem's not the same. You don't
No, it's not.
you control individual chess pieces. Ogre Battle 64 is like battalions that you push out. Like a tabletop.
And it's also real time.
Like Total War. Yeah.
It's not turn-based. Which really is like, it's a different experience, 100%. If you're playing like a turn-based tactics game versus a real-time tactics game, it's like, it feels more almost like an RTS kind of, where like you're sending out units here and here and here, and then suddenly like some stuff's going on over here that you weren't noticing, and you're like, oh no, and you have to like react. I'm also playing the game on like the fastest speed, so.
Well, what's the gameplay like?
Basically you have, so anyone who's played a tactics game, you know, you'll have like your units on a map or whatever, and then there's enemy units, and you're trying to, you know, defeat them with yours. But in this game in particular, you're also trying to take control of strongholds, which are like little villages and stuff. The reason why those are important is because if you station units there, it's like they're camping, like they get their health back and their stamina back. So taking control of those points is pretty convenient for you. Also, that's also where you can get like shops and the Witch's Den. So the Witch's Den is a anytime one of your units dies, they're not dead, but to save them, you have to go to a Witch's Den and revive them, or use an item to revive them. And if you don't, there's a chance that at the end of that encounter, your unit will turn into a zombie. So, and zombies, like you don't want zombies.
They're
you
garbage, right?
Unit. They're terrible.
They might as well be dead.
Though. I like the skeletons.
If anything, yeah,
it's basically your
like
character's
the only thing
gone.
you really want. Unless, what's the other one? Liches?
There was zombies. So you have the zombies, which is just from your characters dying, and then there's a chance they become a zombie. Otherwise, you still have a chance to actually revive them. if they turn into a zombie and you're in a battle with your zombie character and they get hit by fire damage, they turn into a skeleton. And then
Get
if
all
that
that flesh
skeleton,
seared off.
exactly, that's exactly what the meme is. And then if the skeleton gets hit by a combination fire and wind damage attack, they turn into a ghost.
So their body gets yeeted. And they come back
Yeah,
as a
basically
sheep.
their physical body is just destroyed, and all that's left is their soul. And then vampire,
like a
I don't know,
sheep,
vampire
though.
has. Yeah, it's just like a floating sheet. It's literally just floating sheet ghost. Like vampire has some weird requirements and stuff involved with it. I'm not really sure how to get it. And then there's a couple other undead, like the Angel Knight, which is also, it's kind of the same idea as a zombie, except you have to have a character that has a very high alignment. And if that character with a very high alignment dies and they're lucky, they can turn into an Angel Knight.
Those
I'd
are
like to
even
get
more
one of those
rare.
eventually. It's
Yeah.
that's so difficult. You're dice rolling to get it. At least it's an emulator, right? So you could just save state and
Just be
I
like,
didn't get that time.
Oh, they're
Try
not
again.
they turned into a zombie. Reverse. Let's go back 5 minutes.
It's the benefit of playing these very old games in the modern era. 'Cause you have save state and stuff like that, and it's not as big of a
Oh.
pain as like having to click the reset button on your Nintendo 64.
And then losing
Going
like
back,
40
loading
minutes of your
in.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, why did they make this system? I just want this dang character.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like you can only get that at the end of an encounter. And an encounter can take 30 minutes, an hour. So you invest all that
Yeah.
time to the end. You have a character that's dead that you left dead on purpose to hope that they become an Angel Knight, and it doesn't pan out. So you just wasted a lot of time. You have to like reset, go back to the beginning. I can't imagine
Yeah,
actually getting Angel Knights in the original game, like on a Nintendo 64. It would be so
It's
difficult.
purely luck, and you have to have like no real attachment to that character. Because you manage how many characters in a battle?
So every squad can have up to 5, excluding like large characters, which count as 2, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have 5 per squad, and you can field up to 10 squads. So realistically, the max that you're really looking at is 50. Assuming you're not using legions, which nobody really wants to because legions are kind of dumb.
It's a meme and a half with legions. It's like it's kind of tacked on there.
But yeah, it's a very fun game. And then the storyline, it actually has a very, like, it's a very political plot. Like basically you're the revolutionary army. Or your main character dude starts out as a recruit in the military who then ends up being convinced by some revolutionaries to defect because he can see like the lower class people are getting
They're just being
dumped
like,
on.
Yeah, they're not being treated.
So he's like,
correctly.
"You're right. This is wrong. I'm gonna join you guys." And he ends up being like the general of the army because he's so capable. Because main character, plot armor.
Yeah, exactly. Oh wow, look at him. He's so good at
And
this.
so then it's kind of almost like I don't know, any kind of game where you're sort of expanding your territory and growing a country by taking over stuff. So you start out in the small southern division, and then you take over the western division, and then you have some stuff going on in the eastern division, and the central division's coming in and trying to take you out. And meanwhile, all of this is kind of like originally territory of the Holy Lotus Empire, which are these super strong dudes that everybody's scared of, and it's got a pretty good story that goes along with it.
Sounds like everyone's fighting each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
You
Well,
got
that's
like
where
multiple war
that's the point.
fronts, right?
Yeah. That's the point in the story that I guess you're kind of joining in on. Before you showed up, everything was fine.
Oh wow! I guess the main character. It's all his fault.
It's all
He's
his
the
fault.
reason why everyone's in war. He just didn't know it. He's just like, oh, I just want to help people. And then, bam! No, it's your fault. All your fault.
It's a very fun game though. I like the mechanics of it. The way it does like the little squads with real time, like you're sending your dudes out in real time to go fight other dudes and like taking over strongholds and like the tactics of it. Like, and you have to mess with like the formation of each individual squad, and you have classes and upgrades and all this. There's enough little bits and pieces to keep my brain entertained for a very long time.
Right.
Oh,
well,
no.
for a game like that, it's. Well, are you okay?
Yeah, I just clicked on the chair.
Okay. For a game like that, it's very well in depth. Like, I feel like there's more that they wanted to do.
But there's a lot in there that you might not even realize there. Like, a lot of players probably barely even pay attention to the alignment system outside of
Oh yeah,
character upgrades. It's like, oh, the guy is chaotic and I can't get this lawful character class now.
and then they just leave it at that.
People might not even realize, like, okay, well, if you have a lawful character in a squad with 4 really chaotic characters, eventually their alignment will go down. It like averages out. Or if you attack units that are lawful and you're chaotic, or you're more chaotic than they are, you'll actually become even more chaotic, like for attacking good guys.
Oh,
and it's like you have a bunch of little interactions like that.
Does it also wait? It has that system if you have a lawful person in a mostly chaotic group. They change the lawful person, right?
Yeah, but then the lawful person also changes the chaotic guys. Yeah, but
yeah,
less so because they're outnumbered. Yeah, it's like an averaging system.
It just reminds you of like circles of friends. It's like, oh, look at this. It's corrupting them. Corrupting them to be pure and corrupting them to be evil.
All I'm reminded of is like those instances where, you know, you have like the English VR anime, you know, groups that are super memey and like edgy and stuff. And then they get like a Japanese friend who's kind of like, you know, very timid and quiet, and then spend enough time with them and they become a full meme lord. And it's like you're like you were this cute little Japanese person who just was very quiet, and now you're just like dabbing on people and doing Fortnite dances. It's like, what have we done to you? I can't believe it.
I know, we made you better, much better.
Clearly, this is an improvement.
I remember that was a thing for a time, right? We got all the Japanese players coming into VRC, and the thing was to get them to dab, right? I mean, I guess that was a normal thing with anyone that had actual VR.
Well, let's be real. You okay? Like you open up a new VR game, right? And you're like, oh my god, I have hands. Wow, this is cool. Very first thing you do is you dab on someone, right? It's just because it's funny. It's just like the standard, like, oh, I got hands. I can do stuff with them. Like you got to do it.
Well, that's how it was back then. I'm not sure if it's the same anymore. I mean, we haven't played for like a year.
I'm sure it's the same now for newer players. For people who've been here for a long time, they've probably dabbed so many hundreds or thousands even of times that it's like a very old meme to them.
Yeah, well, that's how it is normally.
But it's new and fresh because it's in VR. Until you've done it 100 times in VR, then it's not new and fresh anymore.
Oh, are you okay?
I keep accidentally clicking on this chair. My bad. I'll just sit a little
Not
bit in
even
front of
in
the
the
chair.
chair. Are you
That's
just
okay.
gonna float there?
I'm just toasting. I'm toasting in front of the fire.
Dang, I wish my legs were that good to just like hold my entire body up like that.
Yeah, it's no problem actually. It's not even strenuous. Very easy. Here, I'll move back a little bit. That's one thing I really wish VR chat had
What?
for the longest time. Since as soon as I got full body, realistically, a button in the settings menu that just allows you to disable the ability to click on chair. So you cannot click on chairs when that thing is disabled. Because then you wouldn't have to so how many worlds have buttons where you have to click on the button to disable the chairs? Mm-hmm. How many worlds wouldn't even need that if you just had it in the settings menu?
Sounds on the like other hand, post.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's been
that might have been like
before.
up already. Yeah.
Probably hundreds of times actually. The
like,
issue is you can only you look at the settings menu. It's pretty full. It's got a lot of things in it already. It's got a whole bunch of sliders, a whole bunch of checkboxes. You can only fit so many things into that settings menu. You kind of have to make decisions on like, okay, this is a little. There's only so much.
You could just put it in settings. There's still space. And there's also the advanced settings tab.
You know what they could do? They could just get rid of personal space because it's completely useless.
Yeah, exactly.
And replace that with disable chair objects.
Playing VR with personal space turned on. Gross.
Yes, I very much like it when I'm like 2 feet from someone and they just start to disappear.
They're just a ghost all of a sudden.
I had one time where I don't know how it happened, but personal space just turned itself on at one point. And I couldn't even understand what was going on because I never had that option turned on from like the very beginning. When I first, even in desktop mode, because I think you can have it on in desktop mode. I didn't have it on. So I didn't understand what was going on. Anytime I would get close to people, they would just disappear. And I was like, what's going on?
Hello? What's going on?
It took me a little while. I was like, okay, it's personal space.
Ooh, we need booth models. We looked at some the other day, didn't we?
Yeah. We wanted to look at an actual world of booth models, but apparently they don't have any up it's not like something that's up all the time. They just have like VR Cat.
Mm-hmm. Which is next
and
month.
VR Cat 3.
So which is sometime, I can't remember when it's next month. I think it's towards the end.
Next month.
That's when you get to actually look at them. Though some people have actually released stuff already, which is pretty neat. But I also kind of want to just see it, right? Though the other way you can actually see it is see the people that have bought stuff. Like, I know Noe bought one already. And that's for
it's
Cat
like
3.
So many people. You just look around, it's like it used to be everyone was a NEP or a boat girl. You know, boat girls.
It's easy. I mean, we're still boat girls. That's going to change, though. It's going to change. We're not going to be boats anymore.
But nowadays, it's like everybody's a booth model.
Mm-hmm.
They all look, they look really good. You know, just the quality is there. Who knew that when people are actually getting paid to make models, they make good ones? Not to say that fan-made models are bad, but because honestly, the boat girls are pretty good.
Yeah, they're well made. Well, especially like yours. I butchered mine. This is even the same except for the face, and I guess the hands, and the legs are different too.
Oh yeah, but yeah, this is like a. I feel like I've seen like Miku MMD videos with this outfit.
with this specific outfit, which is even
Yeah.
from Hatsune Miku. Well, no, I guess it counts because the game it's actually from is I think it's Shining Tears. It's a Sega game, and Sega means Miku, so that's totally fine.
True. It's pretty much legit. It's pretty close enough. Close enough.
But yeah, I don't want to beat this anymore. It has to be different. We saw you found one like right away. I was like,
Yeah,
dang
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's gonna like I'm waffling on it because I don't like spending money. But it feels like that's the one. I haven't seen anything else.
It's a succubus model. I should have known better.
I don't know. It doesn't look that sucky. It looks more like it's almost like a dragon girl with horns, if anything. Looks like a Bowsette, sort of.
Like about Bowsette. She's got a dress. She's got the horns.
I don't even know if I'll
hair,
use the
right?
dress.
Oh,
no, actually, it has very nice hair. I actually like the hair.
Yeah,
So
but
I was just gonna
right?
use. Oh, I was gonna change the color. Yes, I'll change all the colors of whatever I need to change, because that's the easiest edit you can do to a model is just changing hair,
Just to change the
changing hair or clothing color. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not gonna use a dress, what are you gonna use?
I don't know yet. Probably at first I'll use the dress until I figure out something else if I want to use it.
Well, we have something for you. It's called more booth models that have dresses on there too.
I don't know about that one.
Just think of it as like buying new clothes.
I barely, like, actually, I was going to say, I barely even go out and buy new clothes in real life. And then I remember everything that I bought when I went to AX. And it was almost entirely clothes.
That's different though. Like,
Is it though? Because it's like you're buying anime clothes. That's basically what you're buying.
Anime clothes. Omocat's nice looking.
Yes, Omocat's very nice.
And then you bought some, floppy stuff.
I'm actually right now wearing the classic Baku Ahegao shirt. Just because it's comfortable. It's like, it's nice thin fabric.
Yeah, they're really well made.
It's very well made.
Like, why not?
Unironically, high quality.
Yeah.
Too bad I can't wear it in public.
Obviously,
completely unusable in public.
Some anime convention, even no matter how small it is, and just wear it there. It could be like 3 people at the convention, and you'll be like, "Yeah, here I am with my Ahegao shirt."
Well, so this is actually a great segue. I recently went out to eat ramen with somebody from VR chat who just lives in the same town as me. And I was wearing the shirt, but I was wearing it underneath like a sweater. So it was more like, hey, check out the shirt I have, so I could show it off, but not actually display it out in public. I don't like displaying that much of a power. They were, oh, that's hilarious. They laughed, It was very good ramen.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't put it on the same level as some of the places we went to in LA, but it was pretty good. It was ramen.
I mean, you found a place, right? It's something. Some places don't even have ramen.
There's like 3 places where I live, and this one in particular was on the very other end of the city, which is kind of annoying.
Ouch! So you had to take. It took a while, right? Just getting there.
Yeah. And then it poured raining on the way back. It was like instantaneous lakes on the roadway. Like suddenly it's like a motorway slip and slide. Kind of crazy. But I heard you had actually gone and ate a whole bunch of different kinds of food.
Yeah,
over the
I'm trying
weekend.
to remember it now, what I ate. But it was like this thing that happens every summer. It's called OC Night Market around my area. Could probably look it up. But yeah, it's supposed to like emulate night markets in like Asia, where it's a bunch of street food. You go there pretty hungry, and you can try a little bit of everything. And for the most part, it's pretty
It
unique.
looked very good.
I'm trying to remember what I ate. I had
Can you
the
remember
spiral
your
potato.
favorite?
My
Yeah, I remember seeing the
favorite.
picture. Your favorite.
It's probably has to be the bone marrow thing. And that one was like hyper extravagant. The reason why I liked it is because how often do you see like bone marrow at some place that you could eat? Especially like some sort of night market.
I've never had it in any point in my life. So
It's like
how does bone marrow taste? Like how do they prepare it? Like was it
so how they prepared it at there was they just had a grill to emulate the oven. And I'm pretty sure they torched the top. Because bone marrow is effectively fat. But it's so good. It's the only thing that I could think of calling it right now is meat butter. So that probably doesn't sound
Yeah,
good at all.
no, that makes a lot of sense. I get what you mean by that. Cuz it's like very meaty fat pretty much.
Yeah. It's like imagine taking all the fat out of a really nice marbled steak. And that's it. There's no meat. It's just the fat. And it's so good. The thing that the one I
sounds
had
really
was ridiculous because for some reason they wanted to go an extra mile and put gold leaf on it. And as it like the gold leaf melted, it melts into the marrow and it looks like you're just eating liquid gold.
Jesus.
I couldn't understand it. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
Had a lot of garlic and other
sounds
crunchy
good.
stuff on it.
Mhm.
But I was like, wow, this is way too extravagant. But
I feel like
can
I'm
see
not
why they
rich
did
enough
it.
to be eating this.
It wasn't. I want to say it's not expensive, but it's probably the most expensive thing I ate there. Even though average price for an item there, it's probably between $7 to $12. The bone marrow being like 18.
See, that's pretty expensive. But for California, like the LA area, it's pretty much standard. Like it's not that bad.
It's terrible. I spent so much money.
7
that
to
night.
12. It makes about sense. 18 is a little expensive though.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's overly extravagant, and all I wanted to eat was bone marrow, and it was really good. So, have it once, and that's it. It's funny because even there's like this little sign that you could take advantage of. It was like 3 for $40 happy hour, and I was like, you mean this entire time is happy hour, right? So technically, that's where you get your bang per buck, but it's still $40, and for 3 of them, it's like something you chip in with some friends. But it's way better than paying like almost $60. So
Clearly, the answer is instead of paying these overinflated prices at a fake food mart here in California, you just take an airplane over to Japan and you go to a food mart there, and the food is so much cheaper. Don't worry about the fact that you actually have to take a international flight to get there.
Yeah, don't mind the $600 to probably $1,000 in airline fees.
You just have to eat a lot when you're there to make up for
get
that
your
cost.
fill. Don't worry about like how much you actually eat. It's Japan. You're gonna be walking anyways.
Just stay there for a whole month and do nothing but eating, and you'll pay for the plane ticket, no problem.
That's a big mood. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me. Yeah.
That's what everybody does in Japan, right?
Yeah, just go there, eat.
Just go there and eat food. Well, because the food's really cheap there, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap relative to anywhere else I've ever been.
Mhm.
It's definitely worth going there. But yeah, man, nothing really happened this week, huh? We
Nothing.
came here.
Nothing.
I mean, you were on VR chat a little bit more than I was, right? You caught up with people that we haven't seen in
yeah.
a year.
Yeah. After we watched Saint Young Men, I stayed on for a few hours, just hung out with people. It's Saturday night, so all the crazy drunks are out and about being rowdy. We just hung out in the old hub, like a true boomer user. You can't mess with those newfangled world they got here in VR chat. You have to go back to the old hub, the old new hub.
Oh god,
or the new
like
old
going
hub?
to a pub or old. I don't know. It's the old hub with the campfire like this.
Yeah.
And
it's
the
got
giant
the
mirror in the other
the
room.
big mirror room, the random spawns. You just spawn in random places.
Yeah, and that's it.
It's got like the barrels and the book that you can grab and throw at people. The beer bottle, that I think still makes a sound effect. Like I think if you take the beer bottle and you put it up to your mouth, it makes a noise.
I can't remember that. It's been that long.
Well, I don't know if they still have it, but they had food where you could pick up like an apple
and then
or something.
You ate it. It goes.
Yeah, big chomp.
Yeah.
And you could just
the thing was like you grabbed the food and you kept feeding someone.
Yeah, because it would constantly respawn in the same place. So you just keep grabbing it and sticking it in someone's mouth.
And you just hear chomp chomp.
The good old days.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty comfy. Just hanging out. I wasn't drinking, so I was like, I felt a little bit like the whole the sober babysitter sort of thing going on.
Ooh,
but
yeah.
It was still pretty comfy. That was how I ended up going to ramen.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you met that person here.
Yeah, because my friend Resinian came in and was quite drunk. And mentioned some ramen came up in some way in the conversation. And I was saying how I don't even know if we have any ramen places where we live. Or I don't know where the ramen places are. And so then that was it was already a done deal. But I thought that because he was drinking and that's when the conversation had happened, that he wouldn't even remember by the next day. I woke up the next day and had all these messages on Discord. Okay, we're going to ramen. This is where we're going. This is the time we're going. Okay.
That's how you do it, though. If you don't do it right away, it never happens. Never happens. Just like the show, which I think should.
It's happening.
Yeah, it happened. No, it's happened. The YouTube channel is up. This is the next episode, and there's gonna be more, and it's gonna keep happening. I'm gonna beat you up, and then I'm gonna beat myself up.
No bully.
I'm gonna watch the video, and I'm gonna hit my voice, and you're like, "Dang, where is this nerd talking again?" And I gotta beat myself up.
That's a very common thing, and it's definitely something I've felt in the past. I've recorded myself for various things and hated the sound of my voice. But watching the first episode of this podcast, it didn't really bother me. I don't know. It didn't like I understand the feeling and I felt it before, but it didn't trigger me, I guess. But you were quite mad about it.
It's funny when I edit it, it's like, oh, this is fine. And then when I watch it, oh, I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up.
Well, the issue is that when you speak, the vibrations of your voice are traveling through your head to get to your ears, which changes the way the sound sounds to you. But that doesn't happen for anyone else. So when you're speaking around other people, they're hearing a completely different voice than what you normally hear. And that's where people get very mad about hearing their own voice in recordings. It's because it doesn't sound right.
It's like, who is this bozo? That's not me.
Exactly.
Stop this. Yeah. And then until you listen to it enough, you'll never get used to it.
Mm.
Or you're a person that get used to it right away. But most often than not, at least when I talk to other people, they're always like, "That's me. That's really me."
Or they're like,
and then they're silent.
My voice, which was a pretty accurate summation of how you reacted to watching.
Exactly. Just me wanting to beat myself up. It's okay. I'll get over it. Because that's how you grow. You get over yourself.
True. Life lessons.
Exactly. Oh, we're teaching you the deep life lessons.
Definitely.
All right. Let's call this.
Oh, we hit the 10 minutes?
I don't know.
We're over 10 minutes?
We've hit several 10 minutes, I think. I don't want this to be that long. I don't even know.
Half a dozen 10 minutes or so.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
You know, who knows how long this is? This could have been like 6 hours. We might have been in here for 6 hours already.
We've been here for weeks.
Exactly. Good thing we don't need food, right?
Who needs food? It's VR land.
Exactly. We'll just find something to eat in here.
Easy.
Same thing,
go to the old hub.
Yeah, eat the cheese.
Eat the cheese, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. That's been...
I'm Keiki.
I'm Volt.
And
the Keiki and Volt Show.
The
end of the second episode.
Show. Woo!
Did it.
And that's it. Bye.
Bye.